in a minute. Yeah, but you can.
Good morning, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
And welcome to Something's Off. I'm sorry, I just got a little notification that was like, Twitter's not ready for you, which, at this point, Twitter, I guess,
they
they are not ready for us, apparently. Anyway, good morning. And
hi.
Something's off, and something's off. Everything's off. I'm a little overwhelmed.
My phone is going
no, it's
bananas.
Okay. Rebecca's overwhelmed. Everybody's overwhelmed. I did a little live yesterday without you. It was only supposed to be about a half an hour. I was on for almost 3 hours.
You're addicted.
No,
you love
I'm
the
not.
attention.
No, it was actually that. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you, trolls. I came on because we usually come on Thursdays. And so I knew the audience might be like sitting there being like, where are they? Because, sometimes you don't see the notes that we put out or whatever.
They're not, but God love them if one person does.
Well, I think one person was. So I was like, well, I should probably go on because Rebecca had a really busy week with her other job, the real job. And also I wanted to thank a bunch of people because, being the grifters that we are, these are all notes from my Amazon. Guys, this is not something I ever expected. And though I know that there are certain people online who love to say that we're only doing this, and the only reason that we are popular right now is because we're grifting off of Karen Reed. And I just want to be clear about something.
I am.
Rebecca and I'm
gonna be clear about it.
Sure. But we also had, other things before this and, journalistic endeavors and other podcasts. And just because we didn't exist on Twitter within the Karen Reed sphere before the last, 6 months doesn't mean we weren't actually doing other things.
Hey, I was there, buddy. Hey now.
That's right. You're the one who talked me into it, coming back, being like, oh, it'll be fun.
I take full responsibility for telling you that it would be fun. I don't remember saying the words fun.
No, I think you said it was fun.
It's fun for me. It's fun for me.
Not so fun
I've been on
for
the
me.
Platform. I've been on Twitter since 2011 or whatever. I've been on Twitter forever, 2012. I've been on, so I
have too.
I'm just very used to what it's become. I've been there for all the evolutions of it,
I've been there since it began, and I left for about 6 years when they started platforming fascists. And also when Elon Musk took over, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, he just made the product worst. I care less about the platforming because, if you can follow who you want and unfollow who you don't want. I just care the platform used to be awesome. Like you used to set up your news. Awesome. It used to be great for news. It's not good for that. Can I show you something real briefly?
But we got to also do that. We have to do the intro music. I haven't done it yet.
And
we haven't told anybody what we're talking about.
Oh, well, we're talking about stuff. Let's go.
We're talking about the Karen Reed filings that happened on May 14th. There are 2 of them, Karen Reed versus everybody. And surprisingly to me, I guess, maybe only me, one of them is focused solely on Brian Tully and how he had way more to do with this than we ever thought possible. And we'll talk about that on the other side of a very quick break.
All right.
Okay, Rebecca, tell us what you were going to say.
Oh, I just wanted to show you this. But then I lost it because I think I closed my window. Hold on. There it is. No. Just give me a minute. I'll find it. It's not that important. I do want to say, can we thank a couple people? Because
absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I went on yesterday is because I did want to say thank you to a lot of people. And then we ended up talking about a bunch of stuff. So
I still don't know who sent me the 2 most expensive items on my list, and I so appreciate you. If you want to identify yourself, you can just send me an email at somethingsoffpod@gmail.com. And I acknowledge that, and I would like to thank you very much. But I also want to thank on, I don't know if you remember, on our drunken stream Monday night, my drunken stream Monday night, where you forced me to watch Trooper Paul. I was drinking Moscow Mule, and I said that was my last little Tana ginger beer. And Jody sent me a 24 pack of ginger beer. Thank you. I got some Nerds clusters from Clem, my favorite candy. And I put you the candy you recommended on there too. And I also got my slippers that I've been wanting for a really long time. They're not expensive, but they're like, they were so frivolous and I love them so much. Thank you, Clem, very much for the cute slippers. I wore them as soon as I opened the box.
Very, very nice. I too received some really amazing, beautiful things. And I want to thank, this was really funny. I got DL Brudvig sent a multi-part gift. It was in 4 parts and it was so many beautiful things and the notes were so lovely. And I too received crazy to me a Blackstone, and the person who sent it has not said who they are, which is crazy to me. I know. And a pasta maker, and Clem, who's been a long time listener, sent me an air fryer, which I used last night to cook dinner for the family. And then Liz also sent a bunch of treats for Ruby. And I don't know, you guys are friggin' amazing, and it makes up for all the crazy shit on Twitter.
How's Ruby feeling?
She's better. I gave updates yesterday. So she definitely had a UTI. She definitely sorry, I my brain is a little bit fuzzy because you mentioned that the she who shall not be named was tweeting about me.
Oh, come
before
on.
we came on, and it's
so
now
unimportant
in my brain. It's so unimportant, except for the fact that
embarrassing is what it is.
it's embarrassing.
Not for you.
No, it's embarrassing, but it's also like getting very personal.
That's what they do. That's what they do, though, and that's the embarrassing part.
Like,
they don't know how to.
My partner.
I
And
understand,
my exes and
but they
things like
don't know
that.
how
It's
to
really
not
fucked
do
up.
that, Mel, because there's nothing to say about you. That's the thing. And so, just like I think that knowing it, if you give any sort of indication that you don't like it, it will increase. It's actually just embarrassing and dumb. And yeah, I just they just it's very, very silly, the whole thing. Can I show you something briefly?
Yeah.
As a distraction.
Yeah.
We rebranded Crime Writers On after freaking years. We have new imagery. We used to have this dopey well, we had a dopey typewriter thing at the very beginning back in like 2014, 2015. Then we got some new art like in the late teens. We had professionally done, and that was very much of the time on Apple Podcasts, like, big graphic. And now it's a photo, because that's the new thing you got to do on Apple Podcasts is photography. And we had a photo shoot with this wonderful photographer, Jen Plant, and there's me in my little jacket. I'm very excited about it.
Very cute. The photography is great. I love all your new headshots. They're wonderful.
They just did. Same photographer just did it for one of my podcasts at work, and she's great. And if anyone is looking for a photographer in the Massachusetts sort of New England area, I highly recommend Jen Plant Photography. JENNPLANTE. She has incredible portrait stuff, incredible headshots, incredible on-scene stuff. She did a shoot at Faneuil Hall with my colleagues. Like, she's great. She did a studio for us in Dover, but she'll do the whole region, and she's wonderful and fun, and she makes it very easy. Our shoot was like, we were done in 45 minutes for all 4 of us with individual shots and group shots. It was great. So,
yeah, I love the photography. I need to get some headshots. I have, my headshots are so not headshots, but I need to get some photos. My photos are really old, that I've been using for a couple of years now since I started the In Between podcast. Everyone Rage Knitter is like, how do people function this early? And it is a little bit early, but we have a hard out today because Rebecca has, like we've said, a day job, and she's
I have an important meeting going on.
Yeah. FUJWSS said, I'll be there waiting if I knew what y'all's schedule was. I posted our schedule for the next for today through I think next Thursday on our posts on our YouTube.
Yep.
So just a quick, like, little bit of housekeeping. Basically today we are doing this stream. Tomorrow we are going to be on the Defense Diaries, Bob and Ali Mata's fundraiser for Aaron Spencer. If you don't know who Aaron Spencer is, I went over this a little bit yesterday. Aaron Spencer is the father who shot and killed a pedophile who had kidnapped his daughter because he felt like the police weren't doing their jobs. He is going on trial on 6/22. He is running for sheriff in the county, and so far he has won the primary, so he still has one more part of the election to get through, but it looks like he's probably going to become sheriff in this area. So it's very interesting to see what happens when they go to trial with this case. So Bob and Allie are raising a legal defense fund for him, and we are going to take part in the fundraiser. There are going to be a lot of really amazing people. David Yannetti, your boyfriend, is going to be there again.
I can't believe it. I can't believe I get to be on 2 programs with David Yannetti 2 weekends in a row.
I know. So crazy.
I think we should aim high. I think we should do what we did. Well, I'm gonna, because that's what I always do. I'm competitive as hell. I want to raise the most money during our appearance of anybody who goes on. Just going to throw it out there. That's what I want to do. I want to make it rain for the Matas. I want to make it rain for their causes. I really, really like them a lot. I like people who are just themselves on camera. They epitomize that, and I really respect their work, and they're fun. And Bob is fun on text too, which some people can't text. Some people cannot text. Like they read a text and they think a certain way about it because they don't understand the shorthand of text, or they can't shorthand text, or they do shorthand text and it just makes them a dick. Bob is the opposite of that. He's a lovely.
No, Bob's great. I love Bob. We met Bob and Allie at the True Crime
podcast gathering.
Yeah, in Boston last year. Well, in Dedham. Was it Dedham?
It was in Danvers.
Danvers.
It was very generous of themselves saying it was in Boston. It was not in Boston.
Oh, one other thing I got this week, which I'm really excited about, is you all remember when I was out of town, Rebecca had Sarah Carradine on, and you might have seen Sarah Carradine come on my Newslight show with her partner, Mari. And I got my little crime scene mug yesterday in the mail.
I got one too. I forgot to use it. She's awesome. And I always mispronounce her last name is Carradine. When I had her on, I literally before the show wrote a note to myself, Carradine, and I came on and said, "Welcome, Sarah Carradine," because I'm an idiot. And
did
she's
she correct
so nice
you?
about
Because she's pretty good about that. Yeah.
No, she did. She does. No? She's fine. No, she didn't correct me. I've talked about this with her so many times about not. Like for some reason, it's like a brain fart situation where I psych myself out about it. But she was great on the show, and I really love the cup. And it says, "What is your true crime origin story?" I think on it.
Yeah, it does. Which I always think is funny, and it's people don't expect the question. I think when they come on the show, and like when they had Ellen and I came on to talk about the Taylor Frankie situation, and they asked Ellen, and she was like, "Oh my God, I don't know." And then she had to think about it. And it was actually really good. When you think about it, you're like, it really takes you back, and you have to think about like how you got into this crazy shit. Cause it's like, all we do is talk about murder and mayhem and, horrible, awful things all day long and deal with awful people sometimes all day long. And it's like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Just Angie became a member. Thank you. Appreciate that. As far as our schedule goes, so on Mondays, we try to do a double. That schedule might change depending on what's going on with Rebecca's day job. But on Mondays, we do a double. So we'll do our regular stream in the morning, which will be probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then we'll come back on at 5 p.m. Next Monday, this Monday coming up, we're going to be doing our new series, which is called Cross Roast, and it's a members only feed.
People love it.
And Rebecca is going to be drinking from her parrot cup while we go over trial 1 testimony, the cross-examination of one Miss Jennifer McCabe.
My girl, Jen.
I put her head right next to yours on the thumbnail because
thank God. Some people can tell how much we look alike.
Yeah.
My girl, Jen. I admire her so deeply.
Yeah. So we're doing that on Monday. And then Thursday, I think we can probably announce this here.
I can't wait. I can't wait for people to like come back at me like I actually meant that. But I do. I admire her deeply. I admire her commitment to the bit very deeply.
I don't know.
She commits to the bit. You got to give her credit.
I don't think it's a bit. I think it's real life.
Metaphoric. It's a metaphorical bit, Mel. And she commits.
We did not finish Joe Paul, but I'm going to take a break from Joe Paul and we'll come back to it. So maybe the crash chick can be Mel's new cause. What does that mean? I don't know what that means
Oh,
to you, Cedar.
because you like people who other people think are really guilty. So they're saying that the girl from the Crash documentary, who everybody
Oh,
sort of widely
Mackenzie.
believes, yeah, they're
Mackenzie.
like
Yeah.
maybe that
No.
can be your next thing. Where you're unpopularly saying that maybe
No,
she didn't do it.
I believe she's guilty in that situation. I believe her parents created that.
I can't wait to watch it.
That
We're reviewing it on Crime Writers next week. I haven't watched it yet.
I would. Are you watching the Netflix one or the Hulu one?
Yeah, that's the one we're reviewing. We're reviewing the Netflix one, so that's the one we're watching.
Okay.
That's the one everyone's talking about.
The Hulu one I think goes into a little bit more. You get a little bit more in depth into what the case of it all,
Yeah.
which is interesting. But yeah,
I
no,
did.
she did it.
Did you listen? Do you know anything about this Laura Owens story? That's the subject of this podcast that we just reviewed.
Everybody keeps talking about it. I have no idea, and I was hoping that you would tell me about it.
Don't listen to the podcast. Let me just tell you what happened.
Okay.
Laura
Okay,
Owens is somebody who, as much as I don't like diagnosing people on the internet when I haven't met them, and I'm also not a mental health professional, so I can't do it anyway, I would say she's a pretty typical borderline personality case. Very histrionic, very reactive, very everything, and a big ass liar. So, and I'm not alleging that. She actually is a big ass liar. She has a history, and it came out because she did this with a guy who had been on The Bachelor, of meeting men in like sort of getting in their sphere. There's one of the 4 men that we know she did this to. She actually dated her for a year and a half, but the other men did not. The other men, like the Bachelor guy, they hooked up once and she gave him like 2 blowies, and that was that. And then all of a sudden she's pregnant with twins and saying things like, I'll get an abortion if you agree to date me. Just give me a chance and agree to date me. And then like,
oh my God, that reminds me of someone.
Oh my God, it is so. That's why I told Aiden when we were on his fundraiser, like he cannot listen to this podcast. It's not a good podcast, by the way. It's just too long. It's too repetitive. It's too irresponsibly made. There's a lot of things about it I don't like. That being said, he knows about the story, and so he told me that he knows all about the Laura Owens story. But she is bananas in the most loving way I can possibly say. But and I also think, and this is a thing the podcast didn't get into, I think she's doing elder abuse on her parents. Because her parents totally enable her in a way. Did you ever watch Twilight Zone, the movie that came out like in the 80s, the one where those 2 little kids and Vic Morrow died?
I was never into Twilight Zone.
Okay, so the reason why, who's the director? Who's the guy who made it? Anyway, so there's one of that movie is 4 stories, and one of the stories is this kid who has like telekinetic and other abilities, and who's very evil, living with his family, and someone comes to visit the family, and everyone's like, everything's fine. He's awesome. But they're actually all being kept hostage by this terrible person. That's how I feel like Laura Owens' parents are. Like, they just don't know how to not indulge her because she terrifies them. But anyway, wild story, borderline personality, pretty obvious, at least to me, an unofficial, non-mental health professional, but also very similar to somebody else that we've met on the internet.
Yeah. So speaking of Bob and Allie, we're going back to that. They will be coming on our show next Thursday.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, we're going to have them on for our regular stream, but it'll be a different time. So we're going to start at 10 a.m. because apparently that's really early for them. But they're going to come on at 9. Bob said that was fine. They would work around it, which I just think is really funny. That 9 o'clock was too early for them.
They have kids. They're tired, man. They're tired.
Yeah, I know. So next Thursday, that's what we have so far for the schedule. Next Thursday will be, excuse me, ending the week with Bob and Allie Mata. And we're going to be talking about the fundraiser, their fundraiser, the Aaron Spencer case, and more than likely the Delphi case as well, because they were actually in court for that case.
I know. And I know so little about that one. All I know is that people I respect say the wrong guy is in prison for it. And that I do know that they elicited a confession while he was having a psychotic break off of his meds, which is terrible. But I really want to hear their like rundown on it. I want them to tell me the story. So I'm excited about that.
Yes. So that's what we have going on. Anything else you want to add, Rebecca? Any housekeeping? We got stickers, membership, all that.
I think people have been getting their stickers. I'm like, I only have a few now to do, and I have one. I do have to buy an international stamp for this one. I will not reveal the name. And I'm sorry if you live in London and you have not received your sticker, Helen. But it's only because I'm out of those kinds of stamps. I got to go pick some up today, and then I will send that one out. And then I'm going to do whatever's left on the list this weekend. And if you are a member of this channel, I do have some stickers left. Put your name and address on the spreadsheet that is, it's a Google survey link attached to our channel page description. The live, you have to see more, like a long ass description. That's where our Amazon lists are. That's where this is. And if you're a member, all I need is your YouTube handle so I can double check that you're a member, which I do spot check. So don't try to get a free sticker, freeloaders. And then I will mail you the latest sticker, which is the one that is the magic 8-ball that says "You wrong." And you might get a special bonus Crime Writers on sticker in there as well while supplies last. And if you've gotten previous stickers and you remember and you want this one too, put your name on the spreadsheet. I'll send you another one. It's fine. It's totally fine. I have to send you one too, Mel. I don't think you've gotten the "You wrong" one.
I don't think I've gotten that one yet. And then also we have our merch store, which I'm wearing our whack job. I don't know if you
I love that. I love that. I'm going to do some merch designs, I think, this long weekend. I'm excited about
We have to take some things off the list in order to add some more stuff. So do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm excited.
There was one other thing. I got 2 very, very, very sweet messages on Facebook overnight from, I think new listeners. So I just want to say thank you to Sally and Phyllis for the lovely messages that you sent me about your life and your family, and how you feel about the show and how you feel about watching, and learning about me and Rebecca. And I really appreciate those lovely messages. I just want to say that. I'm not going to reveal anything else, but I love it when people tell me about their lives. And both of these women, I believe, are, well, I know Sally for sure is from like the Massachusetts area. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the messages. They meant a lot to me. Yeah. Exactly. Well, not really.
Like, dude, how would you have done that in dance? In your kid dance? Would you have had like a?
I would have fallen off.
Would you done a little kissy like like they used to do?
No, probably not. Probably not. I've been asking my family if anybody can find the VHS for me, but no one has.
And for those who are new here, we had a sticker commemorating. We do have a design for it that we could put on a merch. We do have merch, right? Do we have dance merch?
We do. It's just difficult because because the vector doesn't work great.
Well, we'll just need we'll need to redo that a little bit, but I'll do it in paint for you. Mel founded and was the star of a little 5-member dance troupe of young people,
hip-hop sensations.
They believed they were going to be famous, and their name was Dance, and Dance stood for what, Mel?
Dream and never cease eternity.
Never cease it.
Never cease that eternity. Never cease it. Yeah, we made a total of $50 one time.
When you did songs in the middle where you're like, girl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love it when I flip your pancakes and make them nice and brown. It was like those 90s breakdowns.
Yep, for sure. We didn't have any of those because we were doing the one major song that we did was Aisha by Another Bad Creation, and they didn't have any like talky bits in there because they were like 12 years old. So they were just like talking at girls they had crushes on, which spoke to my little heart. Maybe not anybody else in the group because they were all girls, and I don't know.
Well, there's one that I think it may have spoken to her heart as well. I don't know. I'm only judging by the outfits. Sorry.
I'm going to tell you that you're absolutely right about that, which I didn't discover for about 20 years.
Well, I looked at the picture and I was like, oh, there's another cute little baby lesbian. Yep, look at that one.
There were a couple of cute little baby lesbians in that group. They just didn't know it then. I did.
which is why you founded a group of all girls dancing together.
Yeah, exactly. Keep my girls close.
No, not really. No, it's because you are a star. You're a superstar. You wanted to perform at a pizza shop and become hit it big and become the next Backstreet Boys.
No, New Kids on the Block. Backstreet Boys came much later. Yeah. Right. We were obsessed with NKOTB. So
yeah. Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite? Joey Joe McIntyre, because I got mistaken for him when I went to the mall.
No shit.
Yeah. Yep. Because and back then I was like, oh my God, he's so dreamy, blah blah blah. But it was actually just that I wanted to be him.
Oh, you wanted to get that kind. You
So,
wanted to get the girls like he was getting the girls.
yeah, Joey
Yeah.
Joe with his baby blues and his curly mop. Yep.
Jonathan Knight is my favorite. I think
I know. We've
he's such
talked
a
about it before.
sweetie. He's on
He has
HGTV,
the
but he's also he's a sweetie. He's just an
yeah.
abject sweetie. And I love that he's been battling with a historical society in his town. Love that.
I know.
Oh,
Did you put your Blackstone sticker on anything?
I put my sticker on. I bought some like clear plastic bins to put all our grill
Mhm.
accessories and stuff. And we have a pizza oven that we don't use that much, but it's on top of like a thing with shelves. And I bought these plastic bins for those shelves, and it has all the Blackstone like flippy spatulas and stuff in it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I put the Blackstone sticker on one of those. So.
Amazing.
Uh-huh.
Did I sent you pictures. Somebody just asked for pictures of DANCE. I sent you pictures, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. I don't know
I
who
wish I
sent
could.
them, but you showed it to me.
Oh, okay.
You have to show that photo.
I know. I'm trying to find it. Let me see. You talk while I try to find it. That you're not talking.
I know I'm talking to Kevin about the dog needing to poop.
Oh. I was like, you talk while I find it.
Oh, I'm being really professional. I'm being really professional. I had got up really early this morning and I took the dogs out and despite taking them for a decent walk, Briscoe did not let one go. You know how that goes. And it's just like, what's the matter with you, dude? Jonathan Knight has a brother, right? Jordan
Knight. Are they both gay? I think they're both gay.
No, Jonathan is
hilarious.
for sure. And Jonathan has a really cute husband and they ride
Pretty
horses
sure Jordan
together.
is as well.
Really? Let me see. Let me solve this mystery.
Then that's shocking to me.
Nice.
Yeah,
Single. Hold on.
Which is so funny to me that like
he's married. He's married to a woman.
To a woman?
Yeah, Evelyn Melendez.
So here's the funny thing. The other person that you thought was Leda Labine from my group had a huge crush on John Leda Labine from TikTok. We couldn't say lesbian. They would shut us down and demonetize if you said the word lesbian on TikTok.
Yeah.
So people wrote it out LE $BEAN Leda Labine.
There's this funny thing that I keep seeing people do where they call pedophiles PDFs. And I'm like, PDFs. You do know that's a P. It's a P in pedophile, not an F, right? It's FPHILE.
I know, but
I know, but people are doing it, and then I see them spelling it with an F, and I'm like, if you're using these three letters because you think it refers to the spelling of the word, first of all, just say the word. You're an adult. Second,
although there are some people that probably do think that.
Yeah, that it's spelled with an F.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you know who they are.
Is it like this? Leda Labine?
Leda Labine. Yeah.
I love that.
Leda Labine. I have a t-shirt that says Leda Labine. But we spell it out. So we actually spell it out. So it's L-E dollar, like dollar, not the dollar sign, and then bean. So it's
more for your dollar.
Dollar. Yeah. Anyway, she also had a crush on Jonathan, which is hilarious that the two lesbians had crushes on the two gay boys. Although, well, first of all, I should take that back. Joe McIntyre is not gay.
Neither is Jonathan. Neither is Jordan Knight.
Jonathan.
Neither is Jordan Knight. Jonathan is. Jordan is not. Yes.
The other lesbian in the group had a crush on Jonathan.
Oh, got it.
And I just wanted to be Joe.
Got it. You wanted to be Joey McIntyre.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
It tracks.
Yeah.
He had a baby face. You have a baby face.
Well, I would dress like him. And I had my hair cut like his. So, that happened. And then I would go to the mall and I would
Listen, you're spreading a lot of gender confusion on this program right now, Mel. Feeling very gender confused.
I'm just a gender confused lesbo, which is what I get called on Twitter. I'm a gender confused lesbo. I think the word lesbo is kind of cute, so I'm fine. I'm fine with using that.
It is cute.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, I'll look for this picture later. I'm getting distracted. Should we wait, one other thing. So we are almost at 9,000, I think. For our follower count, we're at 8670 subs. So while you're here, go ahead and like the video and share the video and tell people about us. And I guess we should mention that the people should understand that we are grifting, and that's because we have to pay our bills. And this is what we do.
It's not
for
grifting, it's
work.
working. It's working.
Yeah, it's
We're
working.
working.
Exactly.
You know who
I
I've
did.
become super
I had
into?
the hat
Oh,
with the hole in it. That's how I got recognized at the mall.
oh,
Joey's hat had a cut off top, and his mop came out the top.
like
And
a
I had
visor,
one.
but a hat.
No, like a brimmed all the way around. What
Yeah,
are they
like the El
called?
Camino of hats.
Sure. Yep.
Like you want your
I
hat
had.
and eat it too.
I didn't have one. I made one.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Sorry, I'm confusing all you ladies out there.
I have been watching, I was going to say, well, watching a lot of Jimmy this week.
Uh-huh.
He's become like my favorite streamer.
And
He is
Fedora.
so he's like, it's like watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer where it takes a few episodes for you to really understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
But he is so unbelievably talented and funny. And he now has a producer and
He does.
oh yeah, and it's amazing. She's like, see, so basically he has this other YouTuber that he saw was like very organized. So she's sitting in the back seat, she's sitting in the scenes in the back. She's on this, but she's like making sure he's getting through all the things he said he would get through. She's like compiling all the screenshots, whatever. And he brings in the first episode she was on, he brought her on, and she's a total straight man for him. And it so works. It so works. And he like talks to her like as if she's a long-term, very annoying employee. And it's like, it's a great bit. It's super
I
works.
love Jimmy.
He's been doing these things where he's starting his videos now with these long monologues as Nan, but only speaking through like the Twitter Spaces like thing.
Oh God.
And his impression is great, but what makes an impression great when someone does an impression of someone else is the way they write for that person. So like he's like saying stuff he's written for her, and it's just so good. And then he's just naturally gifted comedian, just naturally the smartest, most naturally gifted comedian, and I adore him. And he's become the streamer where the second it's up, I'm like putting my headphones in and listening to this because I love him so much. Anyway,
I love him
we
too.
don't,
We
as
gotta have
somebody
him
says
back
in the
on.
comments, we don't deserve him. I completely agree. He is a genius. And yeah, I wish I had a pinky full of his talent.
He's such a good guy too. He's very sweet. He's
And that's
also
Auntie
very,
Deb, three B's, if anyone doesn't know who we're talking about, which I'm sure you all do.
or some of you say Auntie Deb.
Auntie Deb, Auntie Deb, Auntie Deb.
If you're from New England, you might say Auntie Deb. Or Canada, maybe. I saw that Rebecca was noticed by Nan on Twitter. What does that mean?
Oh, yeah. She had this deeply embarrassing tweet, which was like, the second, how you see something and we've talked about this, you get like the douche chills, like the secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
It was like, it said something like, you'll want to follow this account for top-notch tweets and top-notch replies or something like that. And it was like, oh man, girl.
Wait, you or
no,
her?
She was talking about herself. Like, follow my account for fire tweets and fire replies. And I'm like, show, don't tell, girl. Show, don't tell. That's how it usually goes.
Got it.
She's confounding. She really is very confounding. But she's also, again, really committing to the bit, and the bit's good. I mean, I like to assume everyone's doing a bit, and she's really committed. So
I don't know if everyone's doing a bit. I don't know. I can't speak to
I
any
like
of
to
them.
think they are, is what I said, because it makes me able to sort of understand. If I put it in that frame that it's a bit, it makes a little bit of sense to me. Otherwise, it's just deeply sad,
Very troubling. And it's kind of scary. I mean, I think that there are some mental health issues going on. So,
sure.
And I'm not saying with Nan, I'm saying with a couple of people. And it's kind of freaky. Like, yeah, it kind of makes you scared for your safety sometimes.
I don't know. Keep in mind, they're all lying about things that have happened to them because of the internet. Like she had this whole thing where she was like, her kid called her from the bathroom of school because he overheard a teacher talking about, that wasn't her, this was another woman, teacher talking about what a whore his mother was. And it's like literally none of that happened. A teacher wasn't talking about you. They don't know who you are. And your kid did not call you from the bathroom at school crying about that. Like, that's the kind of thing they do. They also say things like, you brought my kids into it when no one did. Like, and then they do that. They sort of do a fake acting thing of the thing that they're accusing people of doing that they're lying about people doing. I'm telling you, the one thing you should look at the Laura Owens thing is there's this incredible piece of tape where she's being not arrested, but they have a warrant to search her house or whatever. And she is real-time gaslighting to like such an incredible extent where she literally calls her lawyer and her lawyer's like, yeah, you got to let him in. Just do that. And her lawyer is super nuts and completely on her side and makes YouTube videos with her. And it's weird, but he's like, yeah, you got to let him in. And she's like, but do they have a right to come in here at 7 o'clock? It's not even 7 o'clock in the morning. As if the police have like okay, well, guys, it's after 9. We can now raid people's houses. It's the real, my father can't even sit. Father's like literally sitting, stuff like that. It's all that. So
it's scary though. I mean, when you're dealing with folks who have severe mental health issues and they don't know how to regulate and they don't know how to interact with humans, it's kind of scary. That's all. Anyway, Casey says that Mel, dance got paid, so you were pros. As a fellow tennis player, you can appreciate my joy when I came in second in my tourney last year and won $35 in new shoes. I'm basically on the pro tour now. Congratulations, first of all. And yes, you are absolutely a pro. Every time I go to regionals or I go to sectionals or nationals, I'm like, yeah, I'm basically a pro. Like, when can I join the senior circuit and start actually bringing in some money here? Because you can actually win like money on the senior circuit for tennis, and I think the senior circuit starts at like 55 or 50. I don't know.
You're gonna be so rich. You're gonna be yelling at. How is that man that you yelled at a couple weeks ago? Is he all right?
Is he coping? My God, I haven't seen him. He hasn't been in any of my.
No, I don't blame him.
You're talking about Jay.
Chastised pretty hard by you, Mel.
I wouldn't say chastised. I would say I ripped him a new asshole, and I just lost it on him. I lost it. It was a full-on road rage moment, but on the tennis court.
But that's because I got hit in the head with a tennis ball.
He hit me in the neck and the back of the head, and almost hit me 2 other times, and almost took out like an elderly man in the head. Like, he needs to. The ego. I was talking to one of the other women that I play with yesterday when we were having a break on the court, and I was like, these guys, dude, like. You can tell, the way that they play, it's all about the male ego. It's really interesting. So I play on certain days of the week. We play with a pro. So a pro comes in and mixes into our group and plays against us. And
don't hit it to the pro.
Fail, Exactly. All the women know that. They're like, keep it away from that guy. He's gonna win every time. He is the pro. We are not the pro.
Right. He's the one teaching us who already know how to play tennis, how to play better tennis, because he is by definition better than all of the rest of us.
Yes. So we all know, keep it away from him if you want to win the point, you want to like advance, whatever. The men, on the other hand, cannot help themselves.
Yeah.
They have to hit it at the pro for the off chance that they might hit some brilliant shot that will, for 1 point, beat the pro. And it fails every fucking time. And we were just sitting there, the two of us, and we were like, they're never going to learn. They keep hitting it to the pro because they can't. They have to, like, their ego gets the best of them.
Oh, yeah. It's like when you're playing golf with bros and there's like a dog leg, like a long ass dog leg. And instead of hitting it with like your 5 wood and getting it to like the turn part so that you can then hit a second shot, they pull out their driver because they're convinced they're going to be able to, because they're like, the David Beckham of golf or Tiger Woods, be able to bend it around the thing. Never works.
Casey, I think she's throwing down here. She said, hey, you must be a USTA too. That means the US Tennis Association, which I am. She said, biatch, we may run into each other. I'm Ohio Valley. I used to be New England, but now I am whatever DC is. I don't know what that is. So maybe Ohio's right next door to me. So yeah, maybe we'll run into each other. I'll see you at friggin' regionals. Okay. Let's see. There was somebody said something that was really funny to me. Oh, they said FUJWSS said, "My gratitude for Jimmy will never cease eternity."
Never cease eternity. Never cease eternity. He's got a really great song about Chloe.
I think this is about people who don't understand or want to hear anything about golf.
Yeah, sorry.
You were like, womp, 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 womp.
Oh my God. That's like when I'm at work and people are talking about KPIs and North Star goals. I'm like, I don't know what anybody's talking about. And I'm like on the senior team too. I'm like setting some of those things. And I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
Shall we get into these motions to dismiss?
Yes, I'm very prepared.
The filing in response to the motions to dismiss. Okay. Yes. So the federal civil suit, the federal civil case with Karen Reed and the Haas defendants, as well as Proctor, Tully, Buchanan. Both Tully and the Haas defendants filed motions to dismiss.
No, this isn't the federal one. This is the oh yes, you're right. It is the federal one. You're right. I'm sorry.
The federal one.
I'm sorry.
They tried to move it to federal court.
They did move it to federal court.
They moved it to federal court, and now the Haas defendants and Brian Tully have made motions to dismiss the case entirely.
Correct.
So they're doing all these like legal maneuvers to get out of this thing. And that's sort of become very apparent.
Everybody would file a motion to dismiss when they're sued. Like everybody does.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about moving it to federal court.
Oh yeah, they just didn't want it to be on TV.
Right. Exactly. They're trying to get around it is what my point was.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just pull this up. Why can't I see it on my list? It's my Adobe.
I just want to let people know I had all plans to read all 1,300 pages, and then my week got insane. And I've been going to bed at 8:50. Literally went to bed at 8:15 last night because I'm so tired.
I am very confused about where it's actually what I've been hearing is 1,600 pages. Where are these 1,600 pages?
Exhibits. I know that most of it is exhibits.
Yeah, there's only the actual motions, the actual filings are only one is 34 pages and the other one is 12 pages.
Okay. Correct. And then with the exhibits, which are very long, and becomes 1,300 and something pages.
Got it.
But the exhibits are good. The exhibits are juicy. Exhibits have call logs in them, and
I'm not looking at them in my commentary. So if you have anything you want to talk about with the exhibits, I would be open to that, but I don't have anything. Why is this it's not allowing me to pull up my Adobe?
Why not?
I don't know. It won't let me share the screen.
Well, let me see if I have it so I can share it. But then you're not going to be able to scroll through it.
No, I
can just send it to you.
No, I have it highlighted.
Oh, I see.
So I need to.
Did you leave and come back? I can entertain the masses.
Nope.
She's like, no, I don't trust you. Don't trust you at all to be left alone with these people.
No, I do. I just am trying to open the file. Let's see. It's going to be no, it's only like 34 pages. It's fine. Okay, let me see if my highlights are in here though. And if not, I'll have to reference what's on the screen on the other side.
Oh, that's smart. You're smart.
You know, I'm trying here. This is Tully. Okay. Yeah, my highlights are not on there. Frizzle frack. Okay, hold on. How do I save? Sure, this is great content. Me just like wandering through.
Oh no, this is fine. This is fine. I watch streams where everyone's talking about this guy, Nick Rekieta, and I just was watching a little bit of his stream this morning to see what it was about. And his daughter literally walked into the room at one point and was like, "Can you iron my shirt?" And they had a whole conversation about it. And he was like, "I can't iron your shirt. I'm streaming right now." And she was like, "Hi." And she's like, I need to do this iron on thing. And then I need to bedazzle it for school. And they had this whole, and he's like, he was not doing a Plevin situation. He was not yelling at her. He was like, I just started this. Where's your mother? Like, anyway, so you looking for a file? Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay. Thank you very much for gifting memberships, Cassie Baby. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Hot Mess Express 3643. Hot Mess Express sounds like the train I'd be taking every day if I took the train. Apparently the Ohio Valley USDA is a cult reality show. Love that.
Oh,
Love that. Love hearing about I like hearing about other people's drama. See, this is the thing is I love secondhand drama so much. And then when it sort of seeps into my own life, I still see it as secondhand drama. Let's see. KPIs is my rage bait. Are you still looking for this document while I'm putting up the comments?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I would really prefer to open this up in Adobe because I've got it highlighted. So I'm just going to try to make that happen.
Give it a shot. Chelsea, KPIs is my rage bait. Yeah, me too. I mean, I do think that, okay, so for those who don't know what KPIs are, they are key performance indicators. They are measurements you use to determine the success or failure of a thing, anything at work, or to track it. And there's a whole thing about you have to be able to measure everything. So when you set goals for yourself, what's the measurable? What's the KPI? And some things, like say when you work in, I don't know, journalism, difficult to measure, like create quality work. What's quality work? It's not, we're certainly in public media, not doing it by the amount of clicks we get on our work. That's not how we do it. For podcasts, we do track downloads and stuff, but we're not going to stop making it if the downloads are down. And so, yeah, it's just like, and so what ends up happening is, in my experience, is sometimes you make up KPIs so that you have something to talk about. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to aim to have 3 of these videos posted a week when you already know you're going to post 3 a week. So you're just like hitting my KPIs, doing it. Anyway, it's just work stuff. It's all work speak. So let's see. Rekieta isn't for everyone, but I find him funny. Yeah, I can see how he wouldn't be for everyone. He definitely has a very manic personality. He talks about weight stuff a lot, and I know that's very satirical, but like at the same time, I do have a thing where I'm like, don't lead with that. It's like, and if you're going to talk about somebody's appearance, at least make it funny. And I guess for some sure, as Will said to me yesterday, who you're alienating is people who don't like that humor. And I'm like, that's a good point, touche. That being said, I think leading with it can seem base, but that's just my opinion. Like CLOs and SLOs in academia, don't know what those are. Don't want to know. Rekieta runs what I call the all boy treehouse. That sounds right. I literally watched him for 10 minutes and he was very charming. And I could see him running an all boy treehouse. Oh, Amanda, who's been a member for 4 months, and Amanda also sends notes in our comments about our chapters, and we super appreciate that. Hello, Amanda.
Is this stressing you out?
What, that you're looking for a thing?
No, that you're having to like take over.
No, I'm reading comments.
Okay.
The only thing that is worse than KPIs is goal setting or SMART goals. Oh my God, SMART goals. SMART is an acronym. It stands for, oh God. This is literally my job, guys. This is literally my job. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Let's see if that worked.
Can you imagine, like, you are overseeing a team that makes a podcast and you're like, so I need you to set your goals for next year. They have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of just like create a quality podcast that the audience likes to engage with. Okay. Yeah, I find that stuff difficult.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this one that's not, I mean, I don't have to put it on the screen.
I would. I'd put up the one that's not, and then just, I'm sure you'll remember the parts you highlighted once you're looking at it.
Well, I have it over here.
Yeah, that's great.
So let's see. But here's the problem. It slides, which is so stupid. And it's not very big. Can you see it?
Yes. I like all the Rekieta fans out here. I think
I don't know anything about Rekieta. I don't know anything about
he's sort of like, I mean, I literally watched him for 15 minutes and he said some very funny things. And he's talking about Kate Peter, which is one of the reasons why I watched it, because I guess they have a beef now. But he, and Kate Peter, by the way, is the most objectionable human being in the world. She's really incredible. And like, now there's people trying to say she didn't falsify a federal document in a lawsuit and pretend she didn't falsify this thing, and this thing she's trying to bring to YouTube against. She did. She literally said she did. She did it. She's a horrible person.
Okay. we're going to start with the first one. I really wish I could put my Adobe,
We know.
because
We
it's
hear
so
ya.
much bigger and you can actually read it.
I hear
You know?
you. I hear you.
Okay.
We old.
But I'm going to have to do a lot of maneuvering here. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to start with not the Tully one. We're going to start with Karen Reed versus everybody, which is the Haas defendants. And then we'll get into
You
Tully.
mean the Commonwealth witnesses, as they say in their new filing.
Haas defendants.
Commonwealth witnesses.
I'm going to call them the Haas defendants. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I want to talk about this mostly. I really tried to break this down in layman's terms because I think it's just there's just so much legalese in here and lawfare and all that stuff. So in plain English, basically this is Karen Reed like fighting back against the Haas defendants who are asking a judge to throw out her lawsuit against them before it even gets to a full trial. And I want to go through some of the arguments and get your take on them. So you haven't had a chance to really like go through this at all, right, Rebecca?
Oh no, I read this. I read it. I
you-
just haven't had a chance to dig out the stuff I wanted to talk about, but I read the whole thing. I mean, they're basically
Okay.
claiming that they were doing petitioning. We talked about this, that they're doing petitioning activity and
Yeah.
therefore they have full immunity from claims because
Yeah.
they're witnesses. Yeah.
I want to break it down into a little bit more detail.
Okay.
So basically I think there are 3 arguments, maybe more. 3 arguments, I think. So they're fighting this is like fighting the free speech defense, basically the anti-slap motion. The defendants they tried to use like a specific, the anti-slap. Do you want to talk about what anti-slap is again? I know we talked about it previously, but
yeah. What that relates to is the statute that really disincentivizes lawsuits as a tool to silence people. So essentially, like if Nike sues me because I go on this stream and say something about I wore my Nike shoe and I tripped and fell into a pile of shit
right.
or something or whatever. They decide to try to shut me down by filing a bunch of stuff that they know it will take a tremendous amount of time and a tremendous amount of money to fight, and they're using the courts as a tactic to silence. So anti-slap refers to that. It's the judiciary's way of saying no, big man, no David, no Goliath. You can't do that to David kind of situation. Look at me using a biblical reference. I know nothing about the Bible, but
okay, girl.
I'm so proud of myself.
Okay. So basically one of their arguments is that what Rebecca just said, anti-slap. And Karen Reed's lawyers, her attorneys are saying they're wrong. It's wrong for the court to rule for this rule. They're in the wrong court for this rule, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, nice try, but you're trying to use a state level rule, and we're in federal court, dumbasses.
Because of you.
Because of you. Like, it's so stupid. What their lawyers are kind of dumb, I think. So they use a recent Supreme Court case to back this up, although they don't need to. This is a state law in a federal case. Doesn't make sense. So that one is just sort of dumb. And then the second part is covering up a crime isn't free speech, by the way, you guys. And this is a part that's pretty interesting because Karen Reed's lawyers really go into detail here about why they're saying that the Haas defendants are trying to cover up a crime. And so let me get into that. Hold on a second. That is Section 1B. Okay.
Look at you.
So Section 1B. I don't really think it's going to be helpful to have this on the screen. I'm going to be honest with you because I can't go back and forth.
That's fine. You can't go back and forth.
I will read it though, just to make it Section 1B. Because I have it all highlighted here. Okay, Section 1B. In addition, I'm going to read this. This is directly from the filing. So in addition to the many lies the House defendants told the police, the amended complaint alleges that the House defendants, quote, agreed on a simple plan to exonerate themselves and implicate Miss Reed. They would tell anyone who inquired Mr. O'Keefe never entered the house and hide evidence that he was there, including his body, end quote. Now, can we talk a little bit about how Karen Reed's attorneys are able to say these are in quotations. All of these allegations are in quotations. So that part kind of threw me. Like, I was a little bit confused as why they were putting all of this in quotations, because they're stating it as fact, because it is factual to them. And it is something that we'll have to bear out in the process. But so, like, for instance, the next point is, quote, they repositioned a Ford Edge vehicle at a spot adjacent to the front lawn, which obscured the view of that area of the lawn from potential passersby, end quote. And they're using Exhibit 35 to show that. Okay,
Lucky Loughran's testimony.
Yeah. So can we talk a little bit about why these things are in quotes and how they're able to speak as if they are facts? Do you have any input on that?
I don't know. So they're quoting their own complaint. That's why they're in quotes. So they actually wrote all of this in the complaint that the House defendants tried to get dismissed. So they're quoting their own complaint. So
this was confusing to me.
Yeah, the House defendants opposition quotes their complaint. They requote their own complaint here. So they're quoting themselves.
Okay.
And so they put their complaint in as an exhibit. They also put in a bunch of testimony and transcripts as exhibits, which is why it's so long.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's who they're quoting here. And they are saying, they're asserting it because Lucky Loughran testified to it.
Got it. Okay. So the next one, I'm going to go through all these because I think it's really important for us to put this on the record that this is what Karen Reed is saying actually happened. Quote,
You just said one thing that was very funny, that it's very important for us to put it on the record. It's actually not. It's important for them to put it on the record, but we like talking about it.
Wait, what did I say?
You said it's very important for us to put it on the record. We don't have a record.
This is the record.
Record.
This is the record, Rebecca.
I'm sorry. I'm very punchy.
Quote, they carried or dragged Mr. O'Keefe's body to the same area in the yard close to where one or more of them later claimed Ms. Reed dropped off Mr. O'Keefe earlier that night. The plan was devised to make it appear that Mr. O'Keefe had been struck by Miss Reed's vehicle and then died as a result of exposure to the cold, end quote. What? It's so funny to me. Like, I know that they have testimony and information to back up their. What are you doing? Oh,
I'm sharing it because I'm following along as you're reading.
Perfect. Thank you. That's really helpful to me.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mr. O'Keefe was either
this section right here, folks.
Yeah. Mr. O'Keefe was either dead when the House defendants left him on the Alberts lawn, or he died shortly thereafter. Miss McCabe directed them to go back to Mr. O'Keefe's home where Miss Reed had just come from. The illogical McCabe-directed route to 34 Fairview was intentional. It allowed the House defendants more time to finish creating the scene and hiding evidence before Mr. O'Keefe's body was discovered on the Alberts lawn and first responders arrived. I just want you guys to pay attention where you can see Rebecca's cursor is right next to 39 at the end of the paragraph. 39 is the exhibit number, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So if you want to go and look,
paragraph number. See, there's a little paragraph sign here. Paragraph.
Oh, is it paragraph?
I don't know. But I don't know if they're referring. I think they're referring here to the complaint, not the exhibit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're referring to the complaint.
So if you want to go to that specific part of the complaint, that's the reference number. Okay. Jennifer McCabe managed and communicated details about the Haas defendants' messaging and the investigation itself, including visiting proctors and other investigators' private residences, mapping out timelines to coordinate statements with other witnesses, leading group text message chains that were later partially deleted, and planning private meetings at all hours of the day and night.
That's correct.
How do we know that's correct?
Well, because it came out in court and she lied about it, and her lies were exposed in court about her, for instance, going to Lank's house. There's a whole thing that I put in our links thing that somebody posted about her calls and how as soon as she would talk to Carrie, she would call somebody. And that's just there's records that show this. I mean, we knew she mapped out a timeline. She testified to that. She said it was for Peggy, and her sister Denise transcribed it, but it wasn't for Peggy. It was to create a story that Carrie would then repeat. And also, I'm sure she wanted her sister Denise to feel like all that stuff was true. I don't know if Denise knows anything about what really went on here, right? So,
Exactly.
I mean, she literally testified to that. So that's not particularly, I mean, she will just say that the planning private meetings at all hours of the day and night, she will say, if she were to describe that, there's just nothing nefarious about it, that she was just meeting with
Nefarious. Why
friends
would
who
you
were
say
all experienced.
nefarious, Rebecca?
I don't know. But she would just say she's meeting and talking to friends and family because they all experienced the trauma and lost their friend who they loved. That's what she would say. And this is the way that the Reed side is characterizing those meetings, which is probably more accurate.
Well, Jennifer McCabe also texted with her sister, Nicole Albert, that Carrie Roberts, who was present when Mr. O'Keefe's body was found, quote, talked to cops and kept it simple, end quote.
That's right.
Also, while, quote, while MSP interviewed Roberts, McCabe simultaneously texted her husband, Matthew McCabe, Nicole Albert, and Brian Albert, saying, quote, she's telling them everything, end quote. All the stuff. Nicole Albert responded, quote, good, end quote, and call us after.
Nothing nefarious here to see.
Nothing nefarious here. Later in other group texts with Jennifer McCabe and Brian and Nicole Albert, Matthew McCabe suggested having Chris Albert publicize their crafted story to a reporter.
Yes, this refers to the WBZ crew is in Dean Eat Pizza, and Matt McCabe says, tell them the guy never went in the house. And then Brian Albert responds, exactly.
Quote, before both interviews, the McCabes and Alberts continued to coordinate their stories as evidenced in group texts, end quotes. Higgins and Alberts destroyed their phones despite a state court preservation order. And then, quote, by falsely representing that Mr. O'Keefe never entered the Alberts house and by relocating his body to the location on the Alberts property where they would claim Miss Reed dropped off Mr. O'Keefe, the Alberts, the McCabes, and Higgins caused Miss Reed's wrongful indictment, arrest, and prosecution. Brian Albert and Brian Higgins also caused Miss Reed's wrongful indictment, arrest, and prosecution by destroying or discarding their phones, eliminating exculpatory evidence, end quote. Excuse me. Quote, shortly thereafter, as part of the plan, Jennifer McCabe deleted a Google search at 2:27 a.m. on January 29th for how long it takes a person to die in the cold, end quote. Miss McCabe also deleted many calls and screenshots on her phone the night of Mr. O'Keefe's death. And then I have this bit highlighted here, where it says, thus, the House defendants are simply wrong when they argue that, quote, the only alleged conduct by each Commonwealth witness relevant to Miss Reed's alleged injury is the fact that each gave information to the police and testified as Miss Reed's criminal trials.
Yes.
So going back to the point that they did way more than just testify.
Yes, this is all anti-SLAPP argument stuff here.
Yeah.
And what's interesting
Covering a crime isn't free speech.
Well, one thing I think that's interesting to point out is that a potential defense here for the House defendants is none of this is makes us responsible, even if true, makes us responsible for Karen's wrongful arrest. What makes her responsible for that is a shoddy police investigation. So there's something that they could in another planet argue, but they won't because they're never going to acknowledge that any of this could be true. But yeah, all of this is to say that they did activities before, in between, and after giving interviews, testifying, and doing other protected speech activities. And remember, testifying in court is protected speech. Just like testifying on the floor of Congress or speaking on the floor of Congress is protected speech. So
it was all the other stuff they did outside of testifying. So the third argument is, even if it were just talking, you lied and hurt Karen Reed, basically. So even if basically the translation of the legalese, as far as I understand it, is that so like even if the judge decides to pretend that this lawsuit is just about you talking to the police, the law doesn't protect you if you knowingly lied.
Right.
So in Karen Reed's argument, she's pointing out that medical evidence and cell phone data completely contradict the story the defendants told the police.
Where are
And
you
she's
now?
arguing
Because I just went down to the
Part
petitioning
C.
activity.
Part C.
So folks could see. Okay, part C. Part C. I think I'm still in
I think
part
we
B.
just,
part C.
yeah, that's all
There we
anti-stuff.
go.
There it is.
There's part
Okay.
C.
Okay, so basically, let me reiterate that since it's on the screen now. But so even if the judge is deciding that this lawsuit is just about you talking to the police and that's protected, the law actually doesn't protect the Haas defendants if they knowingly lied.
Right.
So Karen Reed is pointing out that she has medical evidence, cell phone data. It all completely contradicts the story that the Haas defendants are told the police at the time. And she's arguing that because their statements were malicious lies that caused her massive financial and emotional harm, that they don't get special legal protections. So let me pull up my document here and get to section C to see what I highlighted there. Okay.
Hold on. I accidentally hit the wrong button. Somebody made a request and I'm trying to honor it. I think they want this. No, I think they want this.
To make it bigger?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it bigger.
It's all right. I just put us in the corner. I put us in the corner like Baby from that movie.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if any of you are in a I think just UK town right now, there's a tour of the Broadway show Waitress, and you should definitely fucking go see it. It was amazing when we saw it in Edinburgh. Okay.
Written by Sarah Bareilles, Broadway show Waitress.
Well, the music was.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. It was actually, and it was, do you remember the whole story? Well, we can get into that later. The whole story.
I saw the movie with Kerry Russell. I saw the movie.
No, but the screenwriter and the director, who was also in the movie, you know that she was murdered, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Adrienne Shelley. She was an actress. Such a tragic story. I was really sad to hear that when it happened. Anyway, so here's the sort of evidentiary record that Karen is trying to establish here. I'm just going to read out the bullet points. So Karen did not strike Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle. The Massachusetts chief medical examiner testified that John O'Keefe's injuries were not consistent with a vehicle strike, but rather a physical altercation. So they want you to go look at the testimony of Dr. Irini Scordi-Bello, and that's an attachment. That's Seligson is her attorney. Mr. O'Keefe did not show signs of a physical altercation before Miss Reed dropped him off, and he and Miss Reed did not have such an altercation before she dropped him off at the Albert's house. These are all the things that this is Karen Reed like swearing to this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is what I talked about in our last episode. Mr. O'Keefe also suffered a counter-coup wound.
Contra-coup.
Okay. I knew that you were going to correct me. I corrected myself. Contra-coup. Mr. O'Keefe also suffered a contra-coup wound on the back of his head, which is consistent with falling on the ridge surfaces present in the Albert's home garage.
Garage
in the garage.
I want to say, for those who are yelling at me on the internet and saying that, no, it happened in the living room and everyone saw, I don't believe that to be true. In my opinion.
That is a very well-informed, well-researched theory by Sam Beningo.
Yeah, no.
We think differently.
That's her opinion, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
My opinion is she's wrong. I like you, Sam, but I think you're wrong about that one.
Mr. O'Keefe also suffered dog bite wounds, and the Albert's German Shepherd had a history of aggression. In addition, evidence was presented at Miss Reed's trial that Mr. O'Keefe's phone was at some point inside the Albert's home. Finally, the evidence at Miss Reed's trial also revealed that Ms. McCabe had used her phone to search at 2:27 a.m. on January 28th how long it takes for a person to die in the cold. In addition, and without discovery yet in this action, that means obviously they haven't received everything that they need to fully bring all of this to light. The court should take into consideration that the House defendants have already been caught making misrepresentations and attempting to cover up their conspiracy. This part is so friggin' interesting to me. We're going to break it down by person. So we're going to start with Brian Higgins. Brian Higgins. Mr. Higgins originally told police he went to the Canton Police Department in the morning of January 29th to do quote unquote administrative work in the middle of a snowstorm. Snarky. Mr. Higgins then told the grand jury he said he went to the Canton Police Department to quote, to move cars around, end quote. Yet later at trial, video evidence showed Higgins moving a large parcel from one vehicle to another, disappearing in his office, and then spending a period of time in another unseen area of CPD, and then finally exiting CPD. Mr. Higgins testified that he didn't speak to anyone after leaving the Alberts house until he was notified of Mr. O'Keefe's death the morning of January 29th. However, evidence at trial showed that he and Brian Albert communicated by phone at 2:22 a.m. the morning before Mr. O'Keefe's body was found. Nicole and Brian Albert.
Nicole.
I know. On January 29th, they told Sergeant Lang that their daughter, Caitlin Albert, was only briefly at the Alberts house and left around 12:15 a.m. However, Caitlin was later interviewed by MSP and said she was the last to leave 34 Fairview. And she probably took Chloe with her, in my opinion. Interview of Caitlin Albert.
I think she took Chloe too.
I agree. Yeah. Trial testimony by all the house defendants confirmed Caitlin was the last to leave the Alberts house at around 2 a.m. 2 a.m. And then Jen McCabe searched at 2:27 a.m. Just keep
Caitlin knew. Caitlin knew.
And I think that I do agree with Sam that I think that Sarah Levinson and Julie Nagel also knew. Nicole Albert told police she was asleep until Miss McCabe came into her bedroom at just before 7 a.m. on January 29th. However, call logs show a 38-second answered call from Jen to Nicole at 5:07:21 a.m.
Sus.
Real sus. Nicole Albert testified before the grand jury that she went to bed as soon as everyone left her house. Yet Brian Albert testified before the federal grand jury that he and Nicole were awake and having intimate relations at 2:22, which is when Brian Higgins called him, and 5 minutes before Jen McCabe searched Hoslong to die in cold.
So I have something to interject now that is relevant and newsy. There is a new filing by the Commonwealth witnesses / House defendants saying that they need more time and they are asking the court's permission to respond to this response. So you don't have the automatic right to just file forever. Like there's an order of operations, and it's sort of like there's a point at which, that's the response. Then you have a chance and you have a chance, and then you're done. So they have asked to respond. They want a deadline of June 3rd to respond to this and one of the reasons they say is because there's grand jury testimony cited in here that they don't have access to. So, yes. So they are clearly, the filing reads to me as if they are very rattled by some of the content of this.
Yes.
And that she is making claims that they don't have a plan yet to refute. And so they just need the stuff so that they can, this is like the reason why Turtle Boy doesn't want to give out his forensic investigator stuff, right? Because he's like, if I show it now, then they'll just make up lies to contradict it. And so they want all the stuff now so they can come up with their what they believe will be a well-reasoned argument to contradict things that are on their face very, very damning. So
yes, agreed. Let's get into the very last, the chunkiest of them all. Not the Jennifer McCabe. I didn't mean that Jennifer McCabe is chunky. I meant that this information is chunky.
We know she's not. She's petite and small.
She's petite and small. That is true. And her sister has the face of Irish poverty.
Yes. Generational.
Generational Irish poverty. All right. Ms. McCabe falsely identified herself as quote unquote Nicole to interviewing FBI agents and falsely told them that she had not made any phone calls in the brief period after the agents first showed up and then returned for questioning. I always find it interesting that Jen will tell investigators, local, state, feds, one thing and then call them back to tell them the truth.
Because she knows she's going to be caught.
She sees it. I'm talking about Lenk. I'm talking about calling Lenk back and being like, oh, and by the way, totally forgot to mention this in like the 4 hours that we were all dealing with this shitty, horrible situation. But Karen actually said, I think I hit him or I hit him. It was like hours later. She's like, oh, and by the way, and it's like
the evolving story. Yeah.
It's the evolving story. It's what it is Matt McCabe and Brian Albert coming in and being like, you got to fix this. You got to fix this. In my opinion,
it's like a way a child thinks. So if a child spills juice from their sealed cup that they opened, onto the
Yeah.
couch. Okay. Say there's a big red stain there. A child will then approach one of their parents. I'll cover it with a blanket and they'll approach one of their parents and be like, did you know that my brother's cup had a hole in it that I saw this morning? I didn't know what to do about that. And I forgot to tell you earlier, but I'm worried he may have made a mess somewhere. That's
Right.
what a child. So she thinks very much like a child
Yeah.
is how
Yep.
she sort of thinks about that.
Yeah. And also, you know, like when she gets scared, she changes her story, which is the next part of this little paragraph, which is after being threatened with the penalties of lying to agents, quote, from another organization, end quote, meaning the FBI, Ms. McCabe admitted to calling her husband, Brian Albert, Peg O'Keefe, and Adam Lally.
Lally. Why Lally?
Oh.
He says so useless.
At some point, we're going to have to talk about the whole Greg Connor on Note My Objection
Why don't we talk
interview.
about that next time we're together? Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, because whoa.
It's nuts that he did it there. And that woman, man, aside from her obvious bias and all that stuff, which I honestly have some too, because I know the facts and I have eyes and ears. She is also just like not a great interview. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next one is Miss McCabe admitted during her trial testimony that she went to Sergeant Link's house on January 30th until the defense presented her phone's location data. This was a big gotcha moment in the trial, if you all remember. She also testified, I did too, that she drove straight to Sergeant Link's house from the O'Keefe's house, but her path of travel showed she went directly to Sergeant Link from her own house after stopping at the Alberts' house. She also denied ever stopping at the Alberts' house, but the phone data at trial revealed a 5-minute stop on the way to Sergeant Link's residence.
Listen, they were just driving by to have some good memories and good times, remembering the death of their lovely friend.
And isn't this when, was it Tully who had to like sit her down and be like, did you go to Link's house and not tell us?
Yes.
That was Tully, right?
As part of trial prep. Yes.
Yeah, as part of trial prep. Ms. McCabe falsely told first responders that Miss Reed said, could I have hit him? She later testified at Ms. Reed's trial that Ms. Reed said, I hit him. Jen.
See, do you see what they say here? She falsely told first responders that Miss Jen, she did not say that. She may have thought it later, but she did not say it. And
you're saying that Karen Reed didn't say it, is what you're saying.
I do not believe she ever said that. I don't believe she ever said even that.
Okay, I have to take a pee break. I'll be right back.
Okay. I am, by the way, making this so big. It looks almost like as big as the text on my phone, but not quite.
I love it. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. All right, everyone. I'm going to look at a couple of your comments while Mel is gone. When Jen said on the stand, I knew what happened outside had nothing to do with anything inside the house. It was like a child calling attention to it. Yes. She very much believes she still has the mindset of how a child or a teenager lies. I once, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, left my parents' house in the middle of the night to go meet up with my boyfriend. What else? And I broke the screen on my window when I was leaving said house. I knew that I would be caught with a broken screen. So I made up a total BS story about how a bird flew into my window and in a way that clearly would not have broken the screen. Guess what? My parents did not buy it. Okay. So what else? What else have we got here for comments? I don't understand how they just can't put some luminol down to debunk or prove out those areas of the house. So the defense team did go to the house and did a bunch of testing in the house, but the defense team, you can do luminol all you want right now. It doesn't really matter anymore because the house has, in my opinion, because the house has, changed hands, yada, yada, yada. There could be blood. I guess they'd have to DNA test it or whatever. But they're also not, they weren't focusing on that they were mostly like trying to debunk the idea that Brian and Nicole wouldn't be able to hear them outside, which is wild. If the dog had a history of aggression, the dog would have heard the EMS parade. And of course the dog would. If the dog was the nicest dog in the world, it would have woken up and barked. Like my dogs are super nice and they bark at everything. Hey there, Cam Hardnett. I love Dirty Dancing. That's one of my favorite movies. Well, I remember it's got Jerry Orbach in it. And my dog is named Briscoe after Jerry Orbach's other famous character, Lenny Briscoe. Let's see. Thank you for this tip. I did know this. I just didn't realize I could do it when I was open inside of a window. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. So thank you for posting this here. You remembered. Okay. Rebecca, do you ever use Speechify to have documents read to you, like, say, if you're physically busy doing other things? No, not documents. I actually like to physically have my eyes on documents. I have found that I listen to audiobooks all the time and stuff, but I have found that when I'm looking for something that I feel like will be an original thought I want to make my own conclusions, I have to physically read the physical document myself. I can't have somebody read it to me. It doesn't work for me.
Hi.
Hi, I'm back. I was
I'm
reading
back.
some comments. It's all good. We were talking about you behind your back. Just kidding.
Oh, really? Okay, can we move to section 3?
Sure.
This is there where Karen's like sort of fighting the like there's no case here defense. It's a standard motion to dismiss. We were witnesses, you can't sue us, you waited too long. These are the legal points that they were trying to make, which is we were witnesses, you can't sue us. That's part A. The law, let's see.
Basically, their anti-SLAPP claim, this is the point, that Ms. Reed's claims against the House defendants involve far more than their false statements and testimony, and these other actions are not immune. This is as we were discussing earlier.
Yeah. Part B is basically you waited too long to sue us. They tried to say that the legal clock ran out on Karen's ability to sue them. But Karen is saying the clock didn't start ticking until I finally won my criminal case. Hello.
Yep. I agree with that.
And then part C is, I'll wait till you get there.
Thank you for waiting till I get there. Here we go.
Okay. There we go. Part C is we didn't arrest you. The police did, basically. So they're saying that, they can't be sued for malicious prosecution because they aren't the police or the district attorney.
Correct.
They didn't officially charge her, basically. And what Karen is saying is, you may not have put the handcuffs on me, but you pulled the strings to get those handcuffs put on me.
They
Meaning
sure
they
did.
They were manipulating the police officers who then, like Proctor, Buchanan, Tully, who then arrested her.
Yes, the essence of her malicious prosecution and related claims against the House defendants is that they initiated the entire prosecution by casting Ms. Reed as the suspect before the investigation started. Ms. Reed alleges the House defendants directed first responders to investigators to Ms. Reed almost immediately, and investigators willingly took the bait. Correctamundo.
Correctamundo. What page are you on?
I'm on page 22 of 1643.
I don't think you just read this part, but I have highlighted on page 21, throughout the criminal proceedings, the House defendants continue to coordinate their stories with police. Did you read that part? No.
Nope.
Proctor, the lead investigator, repeatedly communicated with the House defendants through his sister, helping to coordinate their stories and pass along details of the investigation before they were public.
And we know that because, well, one of the things that we saw yesterday that I shared in our links, let me find it, is that highlighted call log.
Morning, Will. Hey, buddy. How are you?
Will. Was it that she got calls from the Canton school? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Call from the Canton Public Schools to Jen.
Pull up that tweet, Rebecca. Pull up the tweet that you.
You know I can't do that because I don't have.
Okay, I have it on. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
It's on the links.
I have it in.
It's Ida Lee's tweet where she's quoting Suspicious Sauce's tweet. This is so funny. Let me remove my thing. Hey, is Will here? We said Will was here. Hi, Will. How are you? I talked about you earlier in the program.
I'm just gonna pull up the actual photo, the call log, instead of the tweet, if that's okay with you.
Probably easier.
Yeah. Which one are you using? Which one of the add to stages are you using? I don't know which one it is.
Oh, it's there's two that say Mel and one that says me.
I only see. I'm
gonna take mine out. Mine's out now. I took mine off.
Definitely not seeing what you're seeing. Okay. I am going to remove this one then. Okay. Here we go. Share screen. No.
I learned that you can have limitless add to stages on or limitless page screen sharings.
I don't even know where that came from. Desktop. Why is that not popping up? Hold on a second. Why am I having such technical difficulties today? I don't want to pull up my text messages. No.
No, you don't.
Definitely don't want to do that.
No,
Definitely
you don't. There's going to be a lot of $1 bean sign
bean.
stuff in there. Yeah. No one wants to see your $1 bean stuff.
Are you sure about that?
I kind of do, but.
Oh, today.
Coco.
It's
It's so weird that she has in her phone Ashley Bella Mom as Ashley Bella Mom in her phone. Although, to be fair, I did enter a dude into my phone the other day. It was like Ken, last name, chimney guy.
All of my stuff is like when I put the category that they are as their middle name all in caps. So it'll be like Casey, tennis, blah, blah, blah. Or I used to put people by their dogs' names because I remembered dogs' names better than I remembered human names. I can't find this tweet for some reason.
Don't worry about it. Basically, it's a screenshot of Jen McCabe's incoming and outgoing call log, and there's a number there that somebody identified as the Canton Public Schools.
Got it.
That's all you need to know. And the question is, was that Courtney? Sure it was. Of course it was.
In our opinion, it was probably Courtney.
Who else would it have been? Unless it was one of her kids' teachers. I guess to be fair.
Yeah. Why is Jen? So like explain just to be more clear, because you and I,
the children did actually attend the Canton Public Schools. So it could have been that. I'm not defending Jen McCabe. I'm just saying that's the argument I would make if it were me.
Don't give him any arguments. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let's get back to the part D.
I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to come up with my kid also goes to that school.
They're not rocket scientists.
You're right. You're right. As I just argued, Jen McCabe thinks like a child when trying to backtrack or make up a story. Okay.
So part D, basically, we are not the government, so you can't sue us for civil rights violations. Meaning the House defendants are saying we're not the government. You can't sue us for civil rights violations. Usually you can only sue government officials like bad cops for violating your civil rights. So Karen is arguing that these private citizens were so buddy with the corrupt state police investigators that they were basically working as a single team. So it was like a joint effort here, and they colluded with the police to frame her basically. So let me.
And they're wrong. If they really believe you can only sue the government, they're wrong, because you can sue a landlord for housing discrimination. Yeah. You can sue your employer for firing you, and if you're in a protected class. Of course, you can sue private parties for civil rights violations. It happens all the time. I mean, it's happening right now. It's happening right now a lot with, like parents who are claiming that their kids are being indoctrinated in schools. They're using 1983 claims to say my kids, my civil rights are being violated when my kids are doing something that I don't give them permission to do. Like it's being used all over the place. So it's just like the idea that anyone would even argue that is just silly. It's silly.
It is silly. There's only, and I don't want to cover too much here, but the very last paragraph in section D, can you page down to that?
There we go. Got it.
In sum, the amended complaint plausibly alleges that one, Proctor admitted to his friends at the outset of the investigation he was going to make the investigation, quote unquote, cut and dry to avoid blaming another member of law enforcement who happened to be part of his, quote unquote, second family. And number two, the investigation proceeded exactly according to plan with no focus on the House defendants. And three, all the while there were extensive, unofficial, unrecorded communications between the MSP defendants and the House defendants. The amended complaint thus sufficiently alleges circumstantial evidence of a conspiracy that, quote, at the least that the parties decided to act interdependently, each actor deciding to act only because he was aware that the others would act similarly, end quote.
That's the very least of it. So at least so even if they didn't collude, they knew that others would act the same because they had done the same thing. But they did collude. I mean, who are we kidding? They did.
Right. We can move into E.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
Nope. E, F, and G. There's E, F, and G. We just have a few more, and then we can talk about Tully's complaint really quickly.
Okay, because I'm just looking at my clock, and I'm getting nervous.
I know you are. E, your conspiracy claims are basically just very vague. They're very vague conspiracy claims.
They're pretty fucking specific, actually.
The defendant said that Karen was just throwing out wild conspiracy theories without proof. But Karen is saying that she's pointing out specific, highly suspicious details in her complaint, like a snowplow driver driving past the house at 2:30 a.m. and
Where are
seeing
you?
no body.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Got it.
I'm not reading it. I'm
Here it
just
is,
giving
though.
you my
He
notes.
testified he didn't see a body on the lawn in front of the Alberts house at 2:30 a.m., hours after Ms. Reed dropped off Mr. O'Keefe, but at 3:30 did see a Ford Edge. Where's the Ford Edge?
Where is the Ford Edge? And then my notes from this part, I'll just read this part to you guys. The amended complaint also alleges Mr. O'Keefe suffered injuries consistent with being injured inside the Alberts house, such as bite wounds from the Alberts dog, which had a history of attacking people and other dogs, and a head wound consistent with falling on a ridged surface, such as those present in the Alberts garage. A reasonable inference from these factual allegations is that Mr. O'Keefe was killed or incapacitated in the Alberts house, and then his body moved at some point after 2:30 a.m. to where it was ultimately found a few hours later. Additionally, during Reed's criminal trial, the medical examiner, a witness called by the prosecution, testified that Mr. O'Keefe's wounds were inconsistent with being struck by a vehicle, but rather were consistent with being involved in a physical altercation. All right. So the other thing that I had highlighted here was at the end of that paragraph right before F. So right there. The House defendants knew they were lying when they told investigators Mr. O'Keefe was not in the house. In fact, the amended complaint goes much further and alleges that they knew he had been killed in the house and they were trying to hide it.
Oh, I had a thought yesterday about this. So there's this, this idea that Karen called Jen in the morning, and then Jen called Coco, which in that call that was only came out in trial too, right? And then Karen came over, and then Jen took this long route past Meadows to get, to drop off the car or whatever because they could have just taken Carrie's car from Jen's and left Karen's car at Jen's house, right? Right. Yeah. So some people think that that's when they move the body. I don't. I think that was a heads up, blah, blah, blah. Turn off all the lights and pretend to be asleep situation. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think they were all awake. We're all awake the whole time. Their lights were on.
Absolutely. Well, Jen was pacing all night and her heart rate was going up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah. Not as much as when the police were talking to her the next morning at, 34 Fairview. But okay.
One thing that would be interesting about any ring footage, if it existed, can you believe it doesn't? Would be not just that it would, show what happened with the body on the lawn, but that it would also show the lights on in their house all night.
Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. All right. We are on section F and we just have one more after F.
I just want to address this. Why would the new homeowner have areas of the house tested for blood? She didn't know anything about it. And that shit's expensive. And why she doesn't have any stake in it. I mean, I love you, animal. Animals love me. I'm not trying to diss you, but I can see I wouldn't. If there was a question about a mystery at my house that I just bought, I wouldn't have any professional testing done. It's not my responsibility.
Yeah. This is pretty much the vibe. Yeah. It was a warning of, okay, it's go time. Get ready. It's go time. Random YouTube watcher said. Okay.
Let's fucking go.
So we are on section F for fuck. This is about coercion and intimidation. So Karen is arguing that tricking the police into throwing an innocent woman in jail is, by its very nature,
intrinsically coercive.
Yeah.
They're basically saying we never threatened or intimidated or coerced her.
Right.
We don't, but basically they're saying, well, you weaponized the courts and police, and therefore you did do that.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this one. I think this one is a little tenuous, but
it is a little bit tenuous, and I think that's why there's not much to it. If you could page down to, where was it? No, I didn't have any notes on that section. It's the shortest section. I think they even know it's not that great, but let's go down to G. Okay. This is the last point in the motion, in the filing. It's about emotional distress. And basically our actions weren't outrageous enough, is what I'm reading. So basically the way I understand it, to win an emotional distress lawsuit, the bad person's actions have to be considered extreme and outrageous, right? So the defendants are trying to argue that getting wrongfully arrested happens sometimes, and it's not quite outrageous enough. And Karen's response is essentially, Are you kidding me? Framing an innocent woman for a brutal murder so that the real killers can go free is the exact definition of extreme evil and outrageous behavior. And I had one little highlighted section that I wanted to talk about here, and it's on it's right before the conclusion. So right before number 4. Yeah. Go up just a little bit. The allegations is the first line right there. The allegations in the amended complaint against the House defendants are even more outrageous, unlike the FBI in Limine, which merely assisted a third party in framing an innocent person. Here, the House defendants themselves directed police towards Miss Reed and manipulated and destroyed evidence to support the theory they wanted to take hold and to exonerate themselves.
Yes.
Such behavior goes far beyond the conduct in other cases cited by the House defendants. See Shelley v. Town of Holliston, where a police officer arrested an individual who was later acquitted of one charge but convicted of another. And this just cites more case law. Trying to put an innocent person in prison for murder to protect oneself should be intolerable in a civilized community because it undermines society's fundamental interest in public safety and justice. I couldn't agree more.
I like how they show that these cases aren't relevant. A police officer arrested one individual who was later acquitted of charge but convicted of another. Well, that did happen to Karen. Police officer arrested an individual in good faith and in belief that he had received stolen goods and was later acquitted. And police officers excessive force and allegedly wrongful arrest at the scene of a riot. Very, very different cases.
Yeah.
Is what they're trying to say.
Basically the conclusion is, Karen's like, they did horrible things to me. And the law says I have the right to hold them accountable.
That's
Please
right.
don't deny their request. Please deny their request to dismiss this case.
From my friends at Sheehan, Finney, Bass, and Green. I know people who work there, and I have showed tremendous restraint not asking them to tell me the hot goss from the office about that.
Okay, let's move into Tully's. Do you have any thoughts about that one?
I think it's all very straightforward. I think her claims are interesting. They're not, some of them are novel, but I've been poking around to sort of see how lawyers are talking about them and writing about them. And there seems to be some consensus that she has some very strong claims. I don't know all the claims are strong, but some are very strong. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this one because there is no way Karen Reed is going to settle.
Nope.
I would bet my life on it that she is not going to settle. This is not her insurance company suing. So she has, if insurance companies are involved in some of the suits against her, she may have less control over what those companies, do or want to do or whatever. I don't know if that's the case or not, but in this one, she has all the control and she is not going to settle this case.
No, and I think she's making really good points. And I think that, one of the things that I found interesting, I've been looking into a little bit more. I listened to Brother Counsel talk about it. But when David Nenetti on the Mega Fundraiser was talking about how a lawyer in Massachusetts is taking his words out of context to make a legal point, like that is going to be so messy when they get to court.
Right. He's doing the total thing, the same thing that the Mokeef's lawyer is doing, Diller. He did the same thing. But the problem is their people are getting their information from Kate Peter. Like she is helping them. And she's like, look at this, use this. And they're like, oh, that seems good. And that's the bad part is that they're just not, they either don't care or they don't understand who it is that is digging up all this stuff for them. Or Jen's doing it in her free time. And Jen is a child who believes that you can just alter, I'm sure that, Colin is playing by the Jen playbook, not necessarily because she told him, but that whole family seems to believe you can just make something up and just say it with noise and people will believe you, just like the altered screenshot stuff with Allie. So,
right.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I know that when I was working on, here we go, everybody take a drink and fill out your bingo cards. When I was working on the Pam Smart case and I was working directly with her lawyers, who are now really good friends of mine. And so if there was ever any issue, where anything came up and I needed a lawyer, I know that I have one of the best here. Matt and I would literally sit down if I had information that he didn't have or didn't understand, and I would be like, hey, you need to look into this, which is what I think Kate Peter is doing, but I don't know for sure. It's just my opinion. I would be like, Matt, here's an issue I found. So when he was putting together the habeas, and there were 5 points in the habeas, I was like, here, I found this information in the files. Here's what I'm researching. Let's just use, for example, the interview I found with one of the Pam Smart jurors where she said she convicted Pam on something that she read in a media story that wasn't actually real, right? So bad. I found that. I went to I went to the ends of the earth to try to find the reporter who interviewed that juror, because Matt couldn't use that in the habeas unless I verified the information, unless we verified the information. So the idea that there would be any lawyers working on this giant case who would just take some Twitter personality, their information as fact, is insane to me. The
She's
amount
not a Twitter personality. She's working with the family. She's a consultant for the family.
Okay, testify.
And allegedly a private investigator.
Okay.
I'm going to roll the dice on that one. Rolling the dice.
What I'm
For those who don't know the reference, I had a colleague once who thought this gesture meant rolling the dice. So we now very often say in my house and at work, I'm rolling the dice on that one.
I'm rolling the dice on that one.
Rolling the dice.
It took me months to verify that one tiny piece of information that ended up in a legal filing. Months.
Right, because it's the lawyer's reputation, not yours, on the line, ultimately.
Yes. Well, I mean, also my reputation, because I was reporting on it too. But in order to get that information, I had to do a shit ton of work and track somebody down and have a very contentious conversation. And I had to figure out a way to verify it because they were not giving me information. And so, you can't just tell a lawyer, hey, they said this, here's a recording of this, and this is what she says. That's what Diller did. And I still can't believe that he did that. Like with the recording of Karen, I was blown away by that. But anyway,
I just want to respond to this comment here. You can repeat lies and make them true. You actually can in the public's mind. It happens all the time. It happens.
Look where we are politically right now. Okay, I know you have to, what's your heart out?
My heart out is a little around 10, 10 to 5 after 10. I'd say 5 after 10 is my heart
Let's
out.
Very quickly, I won't go through and read all of everything that I highlighted in the Tully motion.
I don't have this one. Can you email this one to me and I'll bring it up if you can't?
Yes.
I like the following along. It's fun. I need you to email it to me because I don't have a MacBook Pro or a Mac. And so I can't just open a text on my computer.
Oh my God. Are you grifting, Rebecca?
100%.
How fucking dare you?
And if you don't think it's a good idea, Mackenzie Bezos, to buy me a MacBook Pro on Amazon, because that's not a great vendor for those, you can buy me an Apple gift card.
Oh, I have that on my wish list too. Because
I do too.
I'm a little bit of an Apple whore. I mean, I'll be honest.
I am, but I have to do both personal and work on the same machine very frequently. So it's necessary for me to have for my, for this, but I would switch over and do this podcast from a Mac if I had one.
It's, I don't know. I would never, ever be able to use a PC ever again. I don't think I can do it. Even to the point where sometimes when I use, the kids' they have a laptop that they do the Sims on, they play the Sims on. I can't even use the trackpad because it doesn't make any sense to me. I just emailed it to you.
To my right, personal?
Yeah.
There it is. Got it.
Okay, so let me pull up my notes.
Downloading. Okay. Hold on.
So this is, I'll just go over the overview of what it is. So basically this is Karen Reed's lawyers, again, responding to Brian Tully's motion to dismiss this case against him. He's asking the judge to throw out the lawsuit. And Karen Reed is saying that, nope, he actually needs to stay in this lawsuit because he was the boss of Michael Proctor and Yuri Buchanan.
But he's retired now. What are they going to? I mean, it's not.
But it was his job to make sure that the I know, but it was his job to make sure the investigation was fair. And they're saying he was either a shit boss who wasn't paying any attention, so he was grossly negligent, or he purposefully looked the other way while his detectives broke the rules to frame Karen Reed.
Wait, am I looking at your underlines right now? I like this.
There it is. Yay, there's my underlines. Good. So section, where are you in the document?
I'm near the beginning. This is the beginning.
Yeah, okay.
Where do you want to go?
I mean, I underlined a lot in this document because
you sure did.
It's interesting what they say.
Control A, Control U. Or in your case, Apple A, Apple U.
But I
Whatever the
just
hell
said, so
that
this
key. What is that key called in the Apple? The one with a little that's like
Apple
control. Oh, okay.
Command, Apple.
Command, yes.
What I highlighted on the first page is basically what I just said. So he was either dumb or he did it on purpose.
He was both. I say
yeah.
both. Let's give him some credit to say he can be both.
But on page 2, there are a few little things, a little tidbits here. So I just want to get into it. So I'm in the very top of the page.
So am I.
Okay. They failed to investigate whether any of the House defendants had physical injuries consistent with a fight. They failed to search the phones of most of the House defendants, thereby allowing potentially exculpatory evidence to be destroyed when defendants Brian Higgins and Brian Albert destroyed their phones. Moreover, as the supervising
They never did
officer,
that. They never did that, Mel. They didn't destroy their phones.
Bullshit. Higgins literally broke his phone apart and went to 2 different dumpsters to throw it away.
And got caught lying about it on the stand and had to correct himself.
It's insane. It's insane to me. Moreover, as the supervising officer, Tully failed to act as the 2 investigating officers under his charge, chose not to investigate Higgins, and instead acted to suppress video of Higgins at the Canton Police Department early in the morning of January 29th. Tully failed to intercede as the investigating officers chose not to secure the crime scene at the Alberts home, which allowed the House defendants time to destroy evidence and gave Proctor and Buchanan the opportunity to deposit pieces of Miss Reed's vehicle's taillight at the crime scene. These acts and omissions by Tully led to Reed being targeted and then maliciously and wrongfully prosecuted twice for a crime she did not commit. For Miss Reed, the devastating consequences of this travesty of justice, which occurred in large part because of Tully's abject failure of duty, have been profound.
I would like to see Tully's personal phone text messages to Colleen Crawford's personal phone. Out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity, I would like to see those. And I would like to see, maybe someday we will see Proctor's personal communications to Crawford's personal or work phone. But I really want to see Tully's.
Yeah, same. And I think we might. This is a pretty strong filing as well. So
you never know.
So part 1 is malicious prosecution. And Tully had made his claim in his motion to dismiss the case against him. Tully said that because of other legal figures like a judge or a grand jury, they eventually approved the charges against Reed. So a grand jury said they indicted her. And so that blame shifts away from him, and he is legally off the hook because a judge and a grand jury said that she should be indicted. But Karen is saying that the law doesn't work that way.
Right. Well, the case law doesn't work that way.
The case law doesn't work that way.
The one that he relies on. So the one thing people should understand is that these arguments are not based on the law or statutes. They are in some part, but they are mostly based on the cases cited in other filings. So Tully cited a case, and they're saying again that this case doesn't hold water. There might be another case that does, but this is not the one. And so therefore you should not rely on that case to give him what he wants.
I mean, very specifically, if police officers lie, if they hide evidence, like ignoring people inside the house, they plant fake evidence like the taillight, and they do that to frame an innocent person, those officers are responsible. They are still responsible.
Oh yeah. Your absolute immunity, your government issued immunity does not apply when you are doing misconduct and lying, and you are knowingly planting evidence, knowingly lying. That you do not have immunity for that. And if this were true, what they're arguing here, then no wrongfully convicted exoneree would ever be able to sue or settle with the police department. It happens all the time.
I mean, and she's basically saying, listen, just because a judge signed off on search warrants and all kinds and arrest warrants and all that shit, it doesn't make it legitimate because you guys lied to get those pieces of paper and that signature from that judge. Correct. So fuck you. And she's also arguing that it's perfectly fair to blame Brian Tully right alongside Proctor and Buchanan because he was their fucking supervisor and he should have known what they were doing.
That's right.
And if he didn't, then he was either dumb or he was willfully ignorant.
I don't like it that he gets off the hook by some people by saying he was the supervisor and he just should have supervised better. No, he was a participant, 150% a participant in all of this.
Yeah.
And I believe that Proctor's personal phone will reveal that.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to section 2. I know we have to get moving here. There's 5 sections, but I think we can move through it pretty quickly. Okay.
Supervisor liability.
Yeah. So Tully's saying he can't be sued for Proctor and Buchanan's actions because there's no proof he actually knew that they were violating Karen's rights. So I know.
This is false. This is simply false, they say.
No, it's literally completely false. They claim that Proctor told his bosses that he was friends. So Proctor told his bosses that he was friends with the Alberts, the people in the house. And they also claim that Brian Tully knew about the other sort of like red flags, like friendly witness meetings with local cops at their personal homes, Michael Lenk, knowing his detectives were compromised and biased. Tully did absolutely nothing.
Thanks, Christine.
He also... Oh, thanks, Christine, for the £5. He also could have easily taken the lead detective off the case. He could have taken Michael Proctor off the case, but he chose not to. He also... Isn't he the one that also gave Michael Proctor like a perfect score or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck that. So he knew what was going on.
He either knew or he was scared of him for some reason and thought if he didn't give him a perfect score, he'd beat him up. But I think it was the first one.
He basically ignored very obvious problems. And she's like, and you're liable because you're his boss. That's the end of that. Absolutely liable. Okay. Section 3, this is the qualified immunity section, and it really pisses me off. And I hate qualified immunity. I hate it.
Everybody should. Everybody should hate it. It doesn't protect anybody but the government.
Well, let's explain to the audience that the people who don't know what qualified immunity is, I will tell you. It generally protects government workers and police officers from being sued for doing their jobs. And that's like the simple way to say it. But basically, it's like you can kind of get away with shooting somebody because you're a cop. You have qualified immunity if it's part of your job. Yeah. So Tully's trying to use this argument as a shield, basically, which I think most police officers do, or law enforcement officers do. Reed is saying, she points out 2 very important things here. Tully didn't bother to explain why he deserves the shield in his paperwork. He just quoted the general law. So that's one argument. The second was that the shield does not apply if an officer violates a person's clearly established constitutional rights.
Right.
So you cannot claim you cannot claim qualified immunity if you are at the same time doing something that violates Karen Reed's civil rights, constitutional rights. So basically, you can't frame an innocent person is basically what she's saying here. So
you can't knowingly frame an innocent person. You also shouldn't frame an innocent person, but if you know it, it's even worse.
Nope. And that comes down to like hiding evidence, faking evidence, planting evidence. The actions are so clearly illegal, he cannot use the shield of qualified immunity. Section 4, which is the Commonwealth law right there. This is where we have torts. Activity.
I love torts.
I do too.
Tortious interference.
Apparently, Melanie Little's favorite class in law school was torts.
People love torts. All my lawyer friends love torts.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. So in Tully's motion to dismiss, he's trying to use a specific Massachusetts law that protects government workers from being sued over mistakes or accidents. It goes a lot. It's the state law for qualified immunity, basically. And Karen's pointing out, again, this loophole that the state law only protects against accidents or negligence. And she is not accusing Tully of accidentally making a mistake. Right. She's accusing him of intentional wrongdoing here.
Right. Any claim rising out of an intentional tort explicitly makes the claim inapplicable. Yeah.
Like malicious prosecution, civil conspiracy. State law explicitly says government workers are not protected if they harm someone on purpose. So this shield does not apply to Tully either. Those two are very similar, but one's a state law, one is, I believe, federal. Qualified immunity is federal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think different states also have different laws around it.
Well, that's what this one is. So Tully is not only citing like federal qualified immunity, but he's also citing the Massachusetts state qualified immunity, basically. And then finally, in conclusion, Karen is saying that they've provided the court with plenty of specific details, basically. Like, we're showing you that Tully oversaw this investigation. It's completely flawed. It was malicious. He had all the information he needed to see the problems. He knew how to fix them. He chose to not fix them. He chose not to get rid of Proctor or Buchanan. And his actions directly hurt Karen, and the judge should deny his request to drop out of the lawsuit. Thoughts?
My thoughts are, we got to keep him in this lawsuit because they need to get some discovery that will help us,
Yes.
help them, and help us make content. Because I think that there's discovery about Tully that they can only get if he stays in. And I really want his claim to not be dismissed, because we know he's been deposed in another matter, but like, I think that there's discovery around communications that we just don't have yet, that they don't have yet, that would be very helpful. And I think that this is being very generous, painting him simply as a supervisor when he likely was involved.
I agree. I think that's why he's sort of dipped out. I mean, I think that's why he's on administrative leave, because
No, he retired. He's gone.
Oh, right. He retired. They put him on administrative leave and then he retired. But this is because of the text messages between him and Proctor and other people on the team.
Yeah. It has to be.
In my opinion.
He wasn't planning on retiring.
It's conjecture, but right. I mean, he's not that old, and I think that there's a lot, I think that if we knew more about Sean Good and Tully, we'd have a very good idea of how this conspiracy unravels.
Someone knows about Sean Good. You know who that is? The town of Canton, Massachusetts.
Right. Did you see the footage that came out of it's more text messaging and phone calls. The dash cam footage of Sean Good standing in front of the cruiser texting, and they're like, who's he talking to?
Who's he texting?
You can sort of map out, because of the time that he's texting, and look at the phone records of incoming and outgoing, that he is, I believe, texting Brian Albert and maybe Bukowski, not Bukowski. Bukowski's the poet.
Oh, you mean Berkowitz?
Berkowitz, yeah.
Or Proctor, because they're buddies.
Right. So there's a lot going on. There's so much to this case still that has not been uncovered. And I know some people are like, can you guys move on from Karen Reed? But we really can't, because I think at the end of the day, everyone's still trying to figure out who killed John O'Keefe.
But also we can't, because there's active legal matters that are fascinating. So Tully was demoted. Tully was demoted, and then he retired. He was demoted. He retired in April.
It's Sean Good who's on administrative leave. Maybe that's who I was thinking of.
Sean Good is on administrative leave. Yes. Yes. And he's being under investigation.
I would also highly recommend on going and looking up the audio between the person who is calling from, I think it's 34 Fairview, or it might be the McCabe's house, back to Canton PD base. And they're talking to Kelly Dever about who was in the ambulance with John, with the kid. Somebody has gone through and taken the hold music out, and they've cleaned up the audio a little bit, so you can actually hear what the person on the phone that's speaking with Dever, what they're saying to everyone else in the room while they're on hold. I think it's worth a listen.
One note I'll make about that is that no one should be critical of a cop calling a dead officer a kid, because calling men kid is a term of endearment in Massachusetts. Hey, kid. Okay. Kid is just, I mean, calling people a kid, the kid, hey kid, like that is actually just a Massachusetts ism. So they weren't being disrespectful to him by calling him that. It was probably, it's a word. Massachusetts words are fun, and that is one of them.
But I think it's because, when I listen to this audio, though, it's also that they are trying to distance themselves from knowing John O'Keefe on purpose.
Maybe
by saying the kid in the back of the ambulance instead of saying John O'Keefe, or instead of saying the Boston police officer. You know what I mean? It's the same thing that Jen McCabe does when she said there's a guy in the snow, trying to distance themselves. The only other thing I'll say before we get going, because I know you have to go to the other job, I have reached out to Emily Sweeney. And I am hoping that she gets back to me.
Imagine if she had been the one covering the Karen Reed case for the Globe. That's all I can think about, because she adds so much color to her reporting, and she's so delightful. I would
know.
love to have her on. Tell her that a journalist from NHPR and you and
I already told her.
your work and a writer want to talk to her about being a journalist in Boston. It's fantastic. She's just great.
I reached out to her on Twitter. We've been she hasn't responded yet because Twitter chats are kind of weird, but I hope she does. I'd really love to have her on the show. I think she's great. I showed her to my partner last night, and we laughed. So it was
She's
fun.
the best. She's the best.
Chloe's mom says, "Where can we hear the audio?" Pretty much just search up new Karen Reed audio information. I think it's on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube as well. It's calls between Kelly Dever and whoever's calling from the house to ask about
Dispatch.
John.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't know. You'd have to ask the ambulance people that question because I don't know. And she's not wrong.
The weird thing about it is the person who calls says, "Hey, Ken PD."
Mm-hmm.
That's how they answer. That's how they start the conversation off. "Hey, Ken PD."
Why is that weird?
I'm weirded out by it because they don't identify who they are.
And but Kelly Dever
Kelly Dever gives them the information anyway. Do you see?
What I'm saying? They knew who he is because he's calling from a phone they recognize. Your caller, right? They know who it is. They know who it is. I'm not. That kind of stuff. That doesn't mean much. They know who he is.
It's the whole conversation's a little sketch and weird to me. I think,
and it's audio. So saying, "Hey, Canton PD" is the way to identify the body that they're calling. So they know it's being recorded. So there's a bunch of like phrases cops use because they know they're being recorded, and that's how they'll be able to back identify it later.
I get it. It's still weird. They don't identify who they are. So anyway, okay. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't. I just want to thank people again. We have a huge audience this morning for us. It keeps growing, and we are so appreciative. Yeah. Please keep telling people if you like our show to share it. We're fun. We love each other very much. We are drama adjacent, not drama fueled. And we love the other creators in our space and respect them, and really respect you guys for being curious and inclusive and respectful and interested in what we do. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say. Send Mel a tip.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what I was going to do today? I was going to put the Cash App in the comments and pin it like Turtle Boy does. So smart. Mm-hmm. Forgot to do that. I got to remember to do that last time.
Yeah. We have Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. All of those links are on the main page. There's a QR code at the top. There's a Cash App and Venmo on the bottom.
We got to get our grift
really
sharper, man. Sharper grift.
I know. Memberships have been really amazing though. Although I've been listening to what Turtle Boy is saying about, I mean, YouTube takes 30%.
No, that's why he does. Yes. Every platform takes a percentage though.
I know that, but I'm just saying like, that's a pretty big chunk.
It is a honking percent. Yeah. That's why he has his proprietary membership, his cult membership. We need a cult membership. We need to name our cult.
We do.
I think we should call it dollar sign, LaDollar Bean.
I'm going to spell it out in the chat so everybody knows what I'm talking about.
LaDollar Bean. All right. I really do have to go. I'm going to dip.
I know. I will see you tomorrow on the fundraiser.
All right. Love you guys. And you can stay on and say goodbye longer if you want.
No, it's okay. I have to get going too because Lindsay is getting ready to go out of town. So.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Thanks
love you.